All right, what is going on, guys? You can hear the traffic, so you know I'm out on a walk here today, and it is Walks of Wisdom Wednesday. So welcome. Today we're going to be recording a new episode, but if you want to check out any of the previous episodes, you can catch all of them. There's over 100 episodes already there, and lots more to come. Over at walksofwisdom.com. So if you want to get in on these live as well, there's an option there. But today, our topic is going to be a very chemically based topic. How some things work inside of your body and what I would recommend for you to do in response to those. And so today we're going to discuss melatonin. Now, if you're not familiar with what melatonin is, I want to run this by you. Don't chase the high that the melatonin brings in the morning when you're waking up. Do this instead. Okay, so that's the title for today. And this is very important because melatonin is a chemical that is produced by your body when it is time for you to sleep. This is that thing that makes you feel tired, is your body starts producing this melatonin. Okay, this is a hormone. Now, at night, when we start to fall asleep, we feel this a little bit, okay? Because we're in a conscious state where we're aware of that melatonin production. But the melatonin puts you into a state that renders you sort of not unconscious, but subconscious. It takes you away from that conscious awareness and lowers all of the body system functions, including awareness, and this is consciousness for us, to allow our bodies to rest and recover. It's having it do less so that the recovery energy can be put out to allow your body to, repair some things and build things and do what it does at night, okay? Now, throughout the night, in order for you to stay in this subconscious state that we call sleep, your body has to continually produce melatonin to keep you asleep, okay? So throughout the night, you build up these high levels of melatonin inside of your system. All right, now, without getting too scientific, we sort of have these waves up and down of consciousness. The deeper we get in these waves, the more subconscious we are, and this is where a lot of that really reparative, restorative stuff happens. The farther away you get from consciousness, the more your body is focusing on repairing versus functioning, okay? And then as we come to the top of these waves, we're getting closer and closer to consciousness. All right, now usually you get almost there and then you're up and down throughout the night until you finally get to that state where your body says, okay, I've been asleep long enough. We've done the repairing. We've done the recovery stuff we're going to do for this session. Go ahead and come out of this. And this is a cyclic thing for most people. So if you're an adult, you kind of have an idea of how many hours it takes for this to happen comfortably for you, okay? Some people are good with 4 or 5 hours of sleep and they can wake up and feel amazing. Most of us typically need anywhere from 6 to 9 hours, depending on how your body works. So for me, my number is 7. If I get 7 hours of sleep from the time that I close my eyes and last remember that conscious state to the point where I wake up and I'm conscious again, that's usually about 7 hours where I can wake up after that and be good on energy all day long, do the things that I need to do, and not feel like I was short of sleep, okay? Now, the reason I'm going this far down the path is because in the morning, we have these major buildups of melatonin that have accumulated throughout the night. And so when we first become conscious, that first moment of awareness in the morning is the highest levels of those. Your body recognizes your state of consciousness and it starts to move blood. It starts to kick back in the functionality. So your heart rate is going to start going up. It's going to push this stuff out of your system so that you can get back to that fully conscious state and do what you need to do for the day. Okay, so our bodies are amazing in that sense. But when we first wake up, those levels of melatonin are so strong. We are fighting an agent that allows us to stay asleep for hours and hours and hours at a time. So when we wake up, there's a huge urge to want to succumb to that melatonin high, is essentially what I call it. Now, you can have a different terminology, but the point is it's so strong that we are willing to let that take us over. And this happens in the form of, you wake up, you become conscious, and you choose. You choose to stay in bed, or you choose to get up. That's kind of the two choices. If you choose to stay in bed, you relax again and allow that melatonin to take you back over and take you away from consciousness for a very short period of time. Now, depending on if you have something that you need to get up for, maybe to wake your kids up and get them ready for school, or take yourself to work, or whatever it may be, usually in a weekday situation, that period is very, very small, 10 minutes, maybe 15 or whatever, because your body has an awareness. It starts thinking about the things that you need to get done, and it uses those as a motivation to reenact that consciousness level, okay? But if, say for the weekend, you wake up and it's, 8 o'clock or whatever, and you're really in that melatonin state, but there's not a lot of motivation to get out of bed, it's very easy to fall asleep and wake up another hour later or 2 hours later or whatever it may be. So melatonin is extremely powerful. It is so powerful that we have instituted fail-safes in our technology to mitigate the power of melatonin. This is called the snooze button, okay? So if you set an alarm, I need to wake up at this time. There is almost always an option, at least on phones, to turn on or off a snooze functionality. This means that after the alarm goes off, this is a secondary alarm that usually is 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, or whatever that setting is, the alarm goes off again and says, hey, did you succumb to that melatonin high? Well, I'm here to remind you again, it's time to wake up, right? And some people will hit that snooze button over and over and over. And after, half an hour, an hour, or whatever the hell it is, they finally make that decision to get up out of bed, turn the alarm completely off so that the snooze doesn't keep going off over and over, and get into their day. Now, for me, I'm a very active person. You can see I'm out here walking and talking and doing a bunch of things. This is how I operate most of the time. And so for me, what I have found is the days that I'm the most productive are the days when I don't give in to that melatonin high. The beginning of my day really spurs the whole energy and momentum of the rest of it. And I've had to develop a little bit of a system to make this work for me, because I'm like you guys, I get in bed and it's nice and cozy and warm, and, I settle into my spot and my body relaxes, and man, it's just such a nice place to be. And you wake up in the morning, and even when you feel rested, oh, that is the most blissful time almost in life, period. Other than, taking illegal drugs, I guess, maybe, but naturally, waking up from sleep is just one of the most magical moments. And we want to keep that. Our job in life is to, seek pleasure or avoid pain. And with that being such a massive pleasure, man, is it a draw to just stay in bed for a little bit longer. Now, before I tell you my system, what I want to bring to light is something I actually had to talk to my daughter about, because she's very good at this. We go wake her up. Hey, it's time to get ready for school. We leave the room. We got to come back like 5-10 minutes later and check on her. Did she actually get up? So now I just stay there until she gets up, and it's not a problem. But having her try to sleep for another 10 minutes, just give me 10 more minutes. How many times have you said that? Mom, just give me 10 more minutes. Like, 10 minutes will not help you feel any more rested. If anything, it re-triggers another surge of melatonin that will keep you staying tired. Okay, so once she understood that I wasn't going to leave the room and let her fall back asleep, she just gets up now. And so for myself, again, we're all human. We all have room for improvement. I had to develop this system that I could reliably, be excited to get up every day. Okay? That's a lot of it. Is, do you have a stimulation or a motivation of something that you want to get out of bed for? If it's the weekend and you don't have any plans and you have decided that I'm going to be lazy this weekend, you'll probably sleep in pretty well. Right? But if you've got something going on, there's an Easter egg hunt in the morning and you got lunch plans, and the afternoon you're going out and doing a bunch of shopping with your girls, and then, at night you got date night, or like you got a whole bunch of things for your mind to stay focused on. It's kind of tough to really sleep in forever. Okay, so for me, I had to start creating a reason to get up. And I didn't realize it was going to be such a simple thing for me. I do a lot of things. I have a lot of to-do lists and check off things, whatever. But it wasn't like I wanted to get up and just start being real busy. So I said, man, I really want to do something every single day the same way to have that same motivation, so I don't have to try and figure this out day after day after day. And so I said, what is something that I do every single day that I can make that a point of, I'm going to do this first thing in the morning as a motivation to get up? And man, you're looking at it. It's my walk. I decided that I'm going to walk first thing in the morning. Now, if you're not a morning person, or you're not a walker, or whatever it may be, you might have to find something a little bit different as your own motivation. But I enjoy taking a walk. All right, so I just said I'm going to do that first thing in the morning when I wake up, so that I can get it in. I have something I'm looking forward to, and it's a reason for me to want to wake up. So I said, now, for me to be able to get a walk in the morning before I have to do all my other stuff, how much time do I need? And so I figured, in order for me to get up, get my clothes on, brush my teeth, get out the door or whatever, and go for a 20 or 30 minute walk, it's going to take about an hour. So I said, okay, what time do I need to start my day? And I work backwards from there. So if I need to get my daughter up, for school between 6:30 and 7, that's kind of the first requirement for me. I said, I can't start my walk, or I can't start my morning wake-up session later than 5:30. So I decided, okay, I'm going to set my alarm for 5:30. Now, coming back to the beginning of the talk, I already knew my number for required amount of hours of sleep. So I said, okay, if I intend to wake up at 5:30, 7 hours prior to that is 10:30. So that means I need to go to sleep by 10:30 so that I have enough hours in my recovery time that when my alarm wakes up, I have no physical need to stay asleep. And I now have a motivation that will help me, want to get out of bed. So I just kind of eliminated the excuses for myself and designed my sleep structure around purposely wanting to get up and be productive in the day. Because again, however I start my day really does continue a momentum throughout my day. The days that I have in the past, I've tested it a little bit, where I did the 5:30 wake up, and then sometimes I didn't. The times that I did not get up at that 5:30 hour, go do my walk, get my morning started before my first required action, the rest of the day just felt like it never really started. Yes, I did stuff, but there wasn't the same level of energy and awareness and focus and clarity and like excitement. I don't know how quite to explain it, but that momentum that is carried from that first morning action is so powerful. And so if you are able to structure the night before to include a decision that I'm going to sleep for this many hours, I'm going to wake up at this time, and when I wake up, here's something that I'm going to do that I enjoy for me. Some people it's meditation, some people it's reading a book, some people may be journaling, some people may be praying. Whatever it is that's for you, have that be the first chosen interaction of your day, the first experience, because it's something you enjoy. You're looking forward to it. And here's the magic, guys, and I'm going to lean on mine a little bit heavier than any other choice you make is not necessarily the wrong choice. But physical movement, okay, is very important when fighting this melatonin situation. Even the concept of having your alarm across the room from your bed forces you to physically get up out of bed, walk across the room, and turn the alarm off. Now, two things have happened. Number one, you're out of that cozy, warm bed or whatever. Number two, you've started the physical movement activity that will be flushing this melatonin away from your system. And now you're at a point where you have a choice. Do I then walk all the way back to bed and consistently choose to allow that melatonin to take over? Or am I just already up and I'm going to go do my thing? If you've got something to look forward to, that's a bigger motivation on top of the physical activity that will help make you feel different in the moment. So for me, knowing that I'm getting ready for my walk, it takes me 15-20 minutes to get out the door. And in 15-20 minutes, sometimes I'm completely awake, sometimes I'm still in that process of flushing that melatonin through my system. But once I get outside, number one, if I walk at 5:30 in the morning, especially in the winter, it's cold. You're going to wake up real quick with that change of temperature. But number two, the physical movement exacerbates that flushing process. It really speeds up getting everything out of my system and goes in the other direction, because movement requires you to control the energy creation process. Your body has to break down calories and start giving you energy to move. And some of that also triggers the proactive hormones like adrenaline and norepinephrine and the feel-good stuff that gets you moving, okay? So now we've gone away from that melatonin stuff, keeping you in this really groggy, tired situation, to the complete opposite. All right, so it's a few factors that come into this. Knowing your number and how many hours you need to sleep, deducting that, from your wake up point based on how long you think it's going to take you to do the thing that you enjoy, and being able to set a motivating factor as the first point of focus in your day, so that after you wake up, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing. And if it includes any kind of physical activity, it's a bonus, because it accelerates that point at which you get away from that sleep mode. Okay? So guys, if you have a snooze button, don't use it. That 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour, whatever the hell you're trying to get out of that clicking the snooze button and succumbing to that melatonin high, isn't going to improve your ability to feel fully awake and energized once you actually wake up. So realize you're just delaying the inevitable. You're going to wake up at some point, okay? So you might as well just do it in a state that you can control. You figure out what your numbers are. You decide when you're going to go to sleep. You decide when you're going to wake up. What you're going to do is your first step. And let that create the momentum that you will recognize, okay? This is the thing, is people don't necessarily always recognize the benefits of this until it's been done. You can sit here and think about the concept all you want, but it just is, a bunch of words until you've done it. But for me now, man, I don't feel like I've started my day correctly unless I do this, because I've seen the difference on the days that I've done it versus the days that I haven't. And so for me now, it's a condition. I just do this every day. And it's been done so much now that a lot of times has been conditioned to recognize how long I've been asleep, and I simply wake up because it's ready for that time frame for my body to be active. So there's a lot of consistency that you can put into this that will add to the benefit. But just do this one time and see how this works for you. If you are having questions about how to put this process together, or something that didn't make sense. All right, we're back. I lost connection. But if you have comments, you have questions on this, please throw them in the comments below. Let me know, and I will be glad to help clarify any of this for you. And we'll check you on the next one, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.